Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 22. So we're down to the Casa's over, and we are now at the recoupling. So let me pull up my notes real quick. Because I had some notes for this episode. Because the first half of this episode really wasn't, it was just filler until we actually got down to the nitty gritty. So we see JD and Huda, JD and Huda talking, and he was being, I don't know what he was being, but it was just like, boy, because he was just like, you want to be dominant, and that's why we lost our challenge, because you wasn't our part, because you wasn't doing what you were supposed to do when we were kissing, because they had the little challenges or whatever, and they lost their part or whatever, and he was blaming it on her because she was like, you were trying to take the lead, and she was just like, well, you weren't following, and all, and they were just like going back and forth, and it was just like, okay. And Huda was just like, when he was just like, oh, you want somebody dominant, Huda was just like, well, do you want to go find somebody submissive? like 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 I'm not submissive, so you need to go find somebody submissive. And like it looked like he was trying to get a rise out of her, and she was just like, all right, well, good talk. And she got up and left, and I was just like, good job, Huda. She has actually, she's doing better. She's not being the Huda of old, or the Hood at the beginning. She is now new. So we see Ace and Coco talking, and they're talking about like how they are outside of here, like if they're jealous, and talking about their, just talking about who they are. And Ace talks about how he has gone through a lot, which is why he's not like so open right away and all this other stuff. And it was just like, okay, that's cute. We see Grayson and Pepe talking, and then they kiss. Then we see them all getting ready for bed, and they all go to bed, and then it's the next morning, and it's the next morning. They all have their, get their food or whatever. We see Amaya and Zach with the K talking, and they're just like reaffirming their connection with each other. And then she's also letting him know that like, I also have a connection with JD, and like, I'm still like exploring or whatever. And he was just like, I understand. Like, I'm not like, do what you do. Can't get mad at you. That's what we're here for. So explore. And she was just like, I like that you're like, you're not like making it like, oh, I need to be with you. So she's like, she's feeling confident about him. Then we see Alangi and Nick talk. And so basically they end whatever they started last episode, because they were just like, after our kiss, like I just kept thinking about Sierra, and I kept thinking about Taylor, and like I just feel bad. And it was just like, yeah, we tried, but I've we they're both more comfortable with it just being them, like being the way they were before, and not in like in a couple trying to explore type of relationship. So they come to that understanding that they're not going to explore like that with each other. Then we see Jade, Ace, not Ace, Austin and Jaden talking, and oh, that's what it was. Because I sure was about to skip this whole part because I do not care about Austin. But he did talk about like she had asked him what there's like a scar on his chest, and she had asked him what it was, what that was for. And he was just like, I had open heart surgery when I was 4 months old because my valves were small, so they had to open it. And this is where the feeding tubes were, and this is the scar for where they did the open heart surgery. And I was just like, wow, maybe that's why he's so carefree, like because of his, him being younger, and that open heart surgery at such a small age. And maybe because he had that open heart surgery at a small age, maybe for a little while um after he was like as he was growing up, like he probably still had to maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe he still had to deal with some things because of that. So now that he's older, he's probably just like, man, I'm just gonna live life because you never know. And it was just like, okay, I'm not mad at it. Still don't care about him, but we shall move on. So then we see we're, and mind you, we're going back and forth between the villa and the casa. So we see Huda talking to Chris. I think that's his name. The one that was coupled up with Shelly. I think it's Chris. So they're talking, and like he's telling her, like, he has a connection with Shelly, but he knows that she has a connection with Ace, and he doesn't know, like he's not sure like where his head is at. And she was just like, well, is there anyone else that you have a connection with? And he was just like, that you had or you want to explore. And she was just like, I wanted to explore you, or whatever. So they're like, they like say, okay, I do kind of want to, they want to explore each other or whatever. So, we see, so they decide, like, I guess they're going to explore each other. So we see, we're back at the villa, and Alandria is going to go sit down. So in this part, we have three of the new girls, and it's Clark, and I don't know, I forgot who the other two girls were in this scene, but Taylor is like he's laying down and leaning on Clark, and Alandria comes and she sits down. And Clark was just like, before you sit down, can we like have a talk or whatever? She was just like, sure, come on, let's go. So they go and talk, and they both talk about how they each have a connection with Taylor. And Alandria is just like basically saying, yeah, I have this connection with Taylor, and I understand that he's exploring, and this is testing our connections. And Clark is just in there like getting upset. She's just like, I don't want to be called a test. And I'm just like, but ma'am, you are a test. That is the whole point of Casa. You are a test. Like, I don't understand what she don't get about that. And I think it's because of the way that they did Casa this year. Y'all gave all these new people, y'all gave them too much leeway and too much power to think that they weren't here to be a test to the couples that were already there. Like, this would have been so much better if, like, literally, if it was like the way Casa normally is, and if he were to come back to the villa with old girl, like, or if when the girls came back, Olandria saw that he chose to couple up with the new girl. Like, that would have been so much better. But all of them being single, and Clark, you thinking, oh, I'm not a test, we have this connection, like you've been here from day one. No, you are here to be a test. And I do not like the way they did Casa this year. It was just like pointless and annoying and just irritating. It's like really irritating because it's just like I said in my last video, they gave them too much leeway. It's like they let the Casa bombshells feel like they were starting from day one. So they didn't have that urgency to like actually try to build connections with these people because they were on a time crunch. It was like from day one, boom, y'all are in a y'all are together and y'all are coupled up, and that's your connection. That's what you're gonna go with. And it's just like, that's not how it's supposed to be. But again, I'm not gonna go back over that. So anyway, so yeah, so Landria keeps calling her a test. She don't like being called a test because she feels like her connection with Taylor is just as strong. And I guess so, but whatever. I guess, like, I'm not. We'll get to it. So what else happens? So yeah, so they have that conversation. Then we see Alandria and Taylor talking, and like, Taylor is a punk. I do not like Taylor at this point because it's just like, you played in that girl's face this whole time. Like I said in my last video, she literally had somebody sent into that villa for her, and you turned her head every which way but loose to make sure that she picked you, just for you to drop her this quick in this instance. Like, I understand, again, Casa's supposed to be tested, but it's just like, you're not even trying at this point, like, at all. It's just like every time you talking to her, it looks like it's a chore now. Like, you look like you're struggling just to talk with her and be like with her. And she is trying hard to get your attention. She is trying hard to make you look her way. And it's just like, oh, I feel so bad for her, because it's just like, oh my God, like, I just feel so bad for her, because it's like he's not giving what he's supposed to be giving right now, and you don't, and she does not see it. And I'm I just feel so bad for her, like, because that boy is like literally like, I I I have no words. Like, I literally can't think of what to say at this point. So we just gonna move on. So we see, and every time, and I don't want to say what they be calling her online because it is so rude, but every time I see her, that's all I see now. But we see Vanna and TJ talking, and TJ is just like, it, like, he don't look interested in her. He really don't. I feel like he built this connection just so he can make sure he stayed in that house so he could get back to Iris. And it's just like, I guess. So we gonna move on from them too. We see Amaya and JD talking, and they're having a cute little conversation, and they're getting to know each other or whatever. So then they get texts, and it basically tells them that the villas, I mean, the people in Casa are coming back to the villa, and they're gonna do the recoupling. So we have everyone, they all get dressed to they all getting dressed for that night, and we see Alandria, she's in the photo booth and she's taking pictures, and she kisses the back of one, and then we see that she had put it into Taylor's drawer. So when he goes to get his clothes, he sees it, and they're just like, man, she is playing offense. She is letting you know, like, I want my man back. And they're just like, what you gonna do? And he's just being a punk, like being a true punk. That's what he's doing. So we see everybody getting dressed, and then we see all the people, like all the couples from Casa have come into the villa, and they're sitting around the fire pit. Ariana comes in, and she looks gorgeous as always. Outfit bad, hair cute, face beat. Ariana is that girl. So she tells them, while y'all were in Casa, in the villa, the same thing happened. The new girls came in, they all coupled up, and one person got sent home that wasn't coupled up. So now it's time to find out who got coupled up. So the first couple to come in is Austin and Jaden. Then it's Austin, Jaden, then TJ Vanna, and then Pepe and Grayson. And as they're looking, Shelly like taps Sierra, and she's just like, girl, who's next? Like, who's left? And they're just like, Taylor, Nick, and Ace. And they were just like, oh wow. So they're waiting. And then next comes in Ace and Coco, and then Ariana says the last couple to come in, but she doesn't say their name. So they're all waiting to see who's coming in. And Zach with the K says, oh look, it's Taylor. And then they look, and they're just like so sad, because again, the girls think that Alondria is gone. So they see Taylor, and it's just like, dang, he's not gonna see his girl. So Amaya's crying. You have Sierra, tears running down her face, because she's just like, man, like, Nick is not here. So they all the couples are up there now. And Sierra was just like, I was making myself like, I was bracing myself to see him up here with another girl, but I didn't brace myself to not see him at all. And it's just like, I wasn't expecting that. And she was just like, I'm so happy all of you guys are here, but it really sucks, because she really, like, in that moment, I think it was like, in that moment, she realized that Nick is really who she wanted. Like, that was it. So then Ariana introduces all the new couples from Casa, and then she says, oh wait, I forgot, there's another couple coming in. And so they do the whole person coming in, and then they do the roundabout, and then we pan up to Nick and Alondria, and the girls are just like, oh my like, oh my God. And they're so happy. And then and Sierra's just like, so happy because she sees Nick. So all the girls run to Alondra and they're hugging her and just like loving on her. And Nick and Sierra are kissing and hugging. And he's just like, I have missed you. They're hugging, kissing down. What's it called? I was just asking Alondra, she was just like, you was in the villa the whole time? And she was just like, girl, I got some tea to tell y'all. And then we see Zach with the K go up to Elon. So sorry. Him. I keep feeling like I'm pronouncing it wrong, but they go up to he goes up to him and he was just like, man, I have no chance. And he was just like, bro, no. She just thought that he wasn't here, so that's why she's so excited. You don't know, but they really had a connection. And I was just like, that's what's up. He was trying to big up his boy, and I was just like, yeah, you and Amaya deserve. Y'all are the same person, so y'all are gonna be good together. So we see all the couples, and everyone is like excited. Shelly was just like, girl, I cried for 48 hours. And so they all go and stand in like this little heart. Everyone's on a little circle thing that makes a heart, and then there's like a platform in the middle or whatever. And I will say, before we get to the recoupling, I wish, if they were going to do this whole saving Nick and Alandria and bringing them to the villa, I wish they would have kept them hidden away so that neither side saw that they were still there. Like, they could have, I don't know, but the villa being able to see that Nick was back, I just I don't know, it just felt, because the girls was really down and out. And if they was, because they did it, I feel like they should have did it that way, or literally just let them go home. Like, it's too many damn people right now. It's too many people. So they're in that little heart, and then the platform's in the middle. So basically what they're gonna do is they each got a little board, and they're gonna write the person's name. They're gonna write the name of the person that they want to couple up on the board. And so then they're going to be called to the middle, and then whoever's name is on the board or whatever, that's how they're gonna couple up. So we start with Austin. He comes to the middle, and Ariana was just like, if anybody has Austin written on their board, please come to the front. And Jaden's the only one, so they're a couple. Then we see who do we see next? So we see, after Austin, I think it was after Austin was put in the couple, it's Amaya. So she calls Amaya to the front, and I think they're going in. No, they're not going in alphabetical order, because Ace would have been first. So it was Amaya. Amaya was next, and they ask who has Amaya's name written on their board, and it's Zach with the K, and JD comes to the front. So Amaya, she has two people going for her, and I was just like, I'm happy. Like, I'm happy that Amaya has grown on me. Again, I still think she talks too much, but she has really grown on me, and she is like, I like her. I really do. I've always liked her. I just thought she talked too much and she did the most in the beginning, but she done calmed down. I feel like everyone has actually, everyone who did the most in the beginning have calmed down now. And I guess. So she ends up picking Zach with the K, so they're a couple, and JD is left single and vulnerable. Then we see who's next? We see what's this? Who is next? It was, because it was, I think it was Adrena and Brian, and then, yeah, Adrena and Brian, and then um and because, like, they didn't really, like, because each, like, with Austin, and I don't know why, I guess because he was the first one, so they asked him why he picked the girl, and why she picked him. And then with Amaya, they asked both of the boys why they picked Amaya, and then she says why she picked who she picked. But with Adrena and Brian, they didn't really do all of that because it was just them. Then it was TJ's turn, and TJ goes up there, and she asked who if you have TJ on your board, come forward. So Vanna and Iris come forward, and then she asks if anybody has either Vanna or Iris on their board, please come forward. And Zach with the C comes forward because he has Iris on his board, and he's single now and vulnerable because she has TJ on her board. So then we asked TJ who he picks, and he picked Iris. And he literally he did his thing. Like, he did the scam. Everybody keeps saying Ace is a scammer. He's a scammer because that man really put in that work to get Vanna just so he can get back with Iris or get with Iris, because he didn't like Vanna. You can there ain't nobody can tell me that that man liked Vanna. He really just did whatever he could so that he could stay in that villa, so he can bide his time, so that he can get with Iris. And that's the same with Iris. She did the same thing to Zach with the C. So they're now a couple. So the people that we have vulnerable are Vanna, JD, and Zach with the C. So then we see Pepe and Grayson, and they're next. And then was it Pepe and Grayson that was next? Yeah, I think it was Pepe and Grayson. Yeah, so they were next. So of course they picked each other. Then it is Ace's turn. So Ace gets pulled up to the front. Is that right? Uh, I don't even know, but yeah, Pepe and Grayson were together. I don't even remember when they pulled up. I feel like it was before Ace, but it could have been after Ace. I could be wrong, but whatever. They're together. So Ace comes up front, and so they ask, Ariana asked, if you have Ace on your board, please come forward. So Shelly and Coco both come forward, and I like that they both was in that yellow. They look bad. They both look beautiful, and they both start to see. And they're so cute. Um, but so they both pull up, and then she asks if anybody has either Coco or Shelly's name on their board, please come forward. No one comes forward. So not Mike, Chris. See, I don't know why I want to call that boy Mike, but Chris didn't even put Shelly on his board because he seen, as soon as she seen Ace, it was over. He knew. So, so now it's Ace's turn to show who he picked, and he picked he picked Shelly. So now they're a couple. So now Coco is vulnerable, and as she's walking, like, after Ace picked who he picked, he like hugged Shelly, gave her a kiss, and then he hugged Coco and was like, told her thank you, because she had like, Ariana had asked them, why did you pick Ace? And she had said some nice things about him. And he said, thank you. And she said, you're welcome. And as she's walking away, she was just like, congratulations, guys. And they were just like, thank you, smiling at her. And then as she's leaving, you got Huda, Sierra, and Amaya talk about, you look so gorgeous. You're stunning. You're beautiful. And she's just like, thank you, guys. And it was just like, so sweet, so loving. I loved it. Same with when I feel like when TJ picked Iris, he had gave what's her name, Vanna, a hug when she walked off. So then we go to, then next we have next it is, what is it? It's Huda, and they ask who has her name, and Chris comes forward, and so they both have each other's names, so they're now a couple. And then we have, after them, then it's Sierra's turn. So Sierra comes forward, and then Elan and Nick both come forward, and she picks Nick, and we all knew, so it is what it is. So she hugged him, and then she hugged Alon, and then Nick like shook his hand and was just like, thank you. And he was just like, it was good. And he was just like, as he hugged her, when he was hugging her, she was giving him words of encouragement, and he was thanking her and letting her know no bad feelings. Again, Nick shook his hand like, just being camaraderie, whatever. So last up, it's Taylor, Clark, and Alondria. So Taylor comes up, Alondria and Clark go up, and they both explain why they want to, why they picked him or whatever. And then we have, so then Taylor makes his choice, and he picks Clark. And baby, when I say Amaya was not here for it, she said, Taylor, and she stood up. She was not here for it. She was so like lost for words. Like, are you serious? Like, Taylor, like, what is wrong? Like, are you serious? And so it's like, when I see that, like watching that and how her and all the other girls were just like shocked by this. I feel like, I know we only see, like, it's a 24-hour day and we only see like an hour and a half of their day, and that's really condensed. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Taylor played in Olandria's face. Like, he must have been doing a lot if all the other girls felt like they like can't nothing break them, can't nothing stop them from being together. Like, there's no way that they would have been shocked if he wasn't doing things that they were seeing for them to think that he really does like her. And he was playing a long game. And it was just like, that didn't like, that whole situation just like was like. But anyway, so he picked Clark, and Clark was being all smug when she was like, when her name was on there. And it was just like, girl, you better count your days, because you and Taylor about to be gone. Because, yeah, people don't like you. They do not like you. Um, and what else happened? Um, yeah, so and this is what pissed me off. After, like, I was talking to my sister about this, and I was adamant. I was just like, no, he hugged her just like Ace hugged Coco. Taylor hugged Alondria, and they, like, said bye and all this other stuff. And then when I watched it back, I was just like, no, he real life did not look that girl in the face. He didn't acknowledge her once he picked Clark. He didn't say bye to her. He didn't hug her. He didn't give her no, like, he didn't say thank you for this connection that we had. He didn't do nothing. Like, he literally hugged Clark and looked straight ahead at Ariana, said the reason why he picked Clark, said he, whatever, and then went and sat down. And I was like, I was too done with Taylor at that point, because I was just like, that was so disrespectful. Like, you've been with that girl for the last 3 weeks or however long it's been, and you couldn't even give her the respect to hug her and say thank you for the connection. Like, nothing. You just take your new girl and sit down. And then even your new girl, she didn't even acknowledge, like, Alandria. Just like Coco was a class act. Like, she acknowledged, them, like, and it was just like everybody else, like, that had like a situation where it was multiple people coming up for someone, they all acknowledged the person that they didn't pick. You know what I'm saying? Except for Taylor. And it was just like, that was so disrespectful, like, on another level. And I do not like Taylor. As soon as I can vote to vote him out, he will be my vote. And I'm gonna get my husband to vote too, because that was a no-no. So we got 6 people. We got 6 islanders who are vulnerable and getting ready to be sent home. And then we find out that they're gonna save one boy and one girl. The Casa people, they're gonna save a boy because the boy is who they made a connection with, and the villa is gonna choose one girl, and that's who they're gonna make a connection with. So we see the deliberation of who they're gonna pick. The Casa folks, they're like debating on who they want to pick, and honestly, it was a no-brainer. They picked Alon, and he's gonna be there. So then we go to the villa. Yeah, we go to the villa, and they're like talking, and Ace was saying, like, he wants to give Coco a shot because she didn't get a chance. And Nick was just like, did she pull you for he was like, did she pull you, TJ, for a chat? She didn't pull me either. So yeah, Alondria, no. And he was like, he looked at Taylor and he was just like, no shade to you, but you guys have known each other for 3 days. So if Taylor changes his mind in the next couple of days, Alondra needs to be there, basically. So they so they're all voting, and then they ask the new girls, and I want to say it was, I think Grayson, because she's the blonde. Great, no, yeah, Grayson is a blonde, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Grayson is the blonde. So she was just like, I want Olandria to stay, but I have to advocate for Coco because that's who I came with, basically. So they asked Clark to vote, and she was just like, I don't want to vote. And I was just like, I didn't like that because it was just like, girl, what? So she was just like, I don't want to vote. And Ace was just like, but you have to. And she was just like, well, y'all come back to me. And it was just like, girl, no. If you don't have to pick Alondria, pick your girl Coco. You ain't even want to pick Coco. Like, and I feel like she didn't want to pick Coco because if she would have picked Coco and Coco would have been in the house, then Coco would have been going after Taylor because that's who Coco initially wanted to be with. That's who she initially went to, and that's who Taylor initially picked. Like he picked Coco, so that's why she didn't want to vote for Coco, and she didn't want to vote for Alondria for, of course, the obvious reasons or whatever. So I don't know who she voted for, but whoever she voted for, that girl, she's not a girl's girl, clearly, because she couldn't even vote for her own girl. Like, girl, what girl? But anyway, so so they pick Alondria, so Alondria is in the house, and I feel two ways about it. I'm glad she's back in the house because I feel like she deserves another chance. I honestly do feel like she deserves to like try again. But one, it's too many damn people in this house. I don't know if they're gonna bring any more people in this house. So now it's just like, who is she gonna be like? Cause we're on episode 22, and I feel like, well, we got three more. Is it 3 more weeks that we got of episodes left? Because I think I think they go to like 30 or 40 episodes. It's something like that. It's something in that ballpark. Um, and I don't know if they're gonna bring, because I'm trying to think, like, I feel like I'm trying to think, because like after Casa, do they ever bring any more bombshells? I'm trying to think, like, I feel like they, after Casa, they do bring in more bombshells, because yeah, because I think, like, because I know last year when they did the heart rate challenge, they brought in that new bombshell, and then they also brought in, like, after Casa, right after Casa, they had brought in that jeweler guy, Harrison or whatever his name was. They brought him in, and then they brought that Cassie girl after that. So yeah, I guess they're gonna bring more bombshells. But again, this villa is stacked with people right now. It is literally stacked with people. It's We have Pepe and Grayson, Audrina and Brian, TJ and Iris, Austin and Jaden, Nick and Sierra, Huda and, am I doing that right? No, I'm not. Oh, my bad. So it's uh so slow. Austin and Grayson. No, Jaden. Austin and Jaden, Pepe and Grayson, Audrina and Brian, Huda and Chris, Amaya and Zach, and I'm so glad I don't have to say with the K anymore. That's 10 right there. Then you still have Nick and Alondri. No, Nick and Sierra. Then Taylor and Clark, Ace and Shelly, and then Alondria and Elan. So that's what? 18 people right now. That's 18 people in this house. And normally it's, I think the norm, like, the when they initially started, it was 6 girls, 6 guys. So it's 12. So it's 18 people right now. So it's like, at this point, it's just like, who is Alon, like, who is Alon gonna explore of the connections that are there, unless they bring somebody else in new for him? Who is Alondria gonna explore out of the connections that are there now, unless they bring somebody else new in? Well, she could explore Chris. I could see that, but I just hope she doesn't go back to Taylor, because Taylor's about to go. Like, hopefully he goes soon. So again, I hope she doesn't. Um, sorry, just gotta make sure it's on. Yeah, sorry, but I hope she doesn't go. She doesn't try to go back with Taylor, because Taylor has like played in her face this whole time, and it's like, girl, please don't humiliate yourself no more. Let that man go. So that's, so like I said, I feel two ways about it. Like, I feel like I want her, I wanted her back. I'm glad she's back, but I also feel like they should have, like, they really should have gave Coco another chance, honestly, because Coco could have explored with she could have explored with Chris. She could explore with Taylor. Um, she could explore with different people. And again, if they bring more people, she could explore. But it's just like, I feel like the reason why I want Coco to come, I feel like they should have chose Coco, is because Alondria is stuck on this cowboy, and she is stuck on Taylor. And if she comes back in that villa trying to get back with Taylor, it's going to be embarrassing. And I do not want that for my girl. But that's where we're at now. So those are the new couples. I'm not about to say them all again, because again, this house is stacked with too many people. So what did you guys think of this episode? Let's get down in the comments and discuss. And if you like what you see, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also turn on your post notifications so you can know whenever I drop a new video. And I will see you guys in the next one.